kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody, to Sim Racing Media tonight. The drivers of the Racers Elite Superspeedway Series take it back to 2008 on the Daytona configuration here as they look to wrap up their season. They have one more race after this, but the points battle in this Superspeedway Series is going to come down to these last two races. Andrew Teft is leading the points, but he's only leading by 8 points over Chris Blasi, Brian LaPratt, and Alex Teft. And let's not leave out Kirby Wainscott. He's only 14 points back. So it is tightening up. They have this race and one more. And the difference between the races, the points, is if you win, you get somewhere around 48 points. And the way the season's been going, if you're down around 10th or 11th, you'll get about 32. So that's almost, looking at 16 points you can make up in a single race if somebody has a bad week. So these final two races is where it's all going to come out, and that is where we're going to leave it for now as these guys are out on the track. Several have already made their qualifying laps here, and this is the old Daytona, so it is pretty bumpy. They have those special pay attention bumps as they run through the corners. As Andrew Teft looks like he's going to call it after his first lap. Jump on back to Alex Teft as he's getting ready to start his first hot lap here. Like I said, he is one of the drivers that are tied for second, so he's got a lot riding on this race. It's only an 8-point gap up to Andrew Teft up there in first place, but it is a gap that he's going to have to try and bank up pretty quickly. If Andrew has a good run this week, he could almost put the championship out of reach here in season 1 of the Superspeedway series here. Coming through 3 and 4, Alex is staying pretty high, trying to ride that wall, get as much speed built up into that 43 Toyota as he can. Then we'll see if he dives it down, and he will do just that. We'll see if he can go a little bit faster on lap number 2. We got a couple minutes left here in qualifying. That lap was a 52.36 for Teft. Coming down the backstretch, trying to keep it right on that line. Jump on board here as he's making his way down the backstretch. You'll see him come through 3 and 4, and you'll see those bumps that I'm talking about here momentarily. You'll see how bumpy that track is down there on that bottom. As he gets up, ready to come through the tri-oval here. A 51.82, so not too quick there. Looks like Nicholas Falsetta and Troy Thomas are not going to make a run. El Procop Valaquet in the 9 machine right now, sitting 9th on the board, 52.31 for his first time. That second time by jumps up to a 51.78, good enough for P3. And that's going to do it here for qualifying. We're going to jump on over to the race session and head on down to the grid. Let these guys get in their rides here. Ruth Hoke going to be on the pole. To see him back up on the service as well. Brian LaPratt just to his outside. And you got Dale Procop Valaquet and Andrew Teft going to make up row 2. Row 3 is going to see Terry Fennell and Kirby Wayne Scott. Chris Blase and Alex Teft are going to roll off in row number 4. Row 5 is going to be Curtis Ecker, and just to his outside is Troy Thomas. We saw Troy get back to racing last week. And then bringing up the tail of the field is going to be that 27 of Nicholas Falsetta. So that's where we start. We're set for 100 laps here at Old Daytona. We also have 75% fuel, so definitely going to have to probably make at least a couple pit stops, I'm going to say. Could get rolling momentarily right behind the pace truck. Pace truck is rolling, and the field is going to roll off here. So here they go, getting ready to head on down that backstretch. These trucks in that old Daytona configuration seem to be fairly well equipped to put on a show, and we'll see what these drivers here, the Racers Elite Series, can do. Headed down the backstretch, Truth Hoke is going to have the field under his control momentarily. So here they go, getting ready to head on down towards the tri-oval here. Pace truck is in, and they are down and away, and we are racing here in the Racers Elite Superspeedway Series at Daytona. Truth Hope got a pretty good jump. Bill Procrop Valaquette stayed right with him. They are definitely pushing out here. Looks like Brian LaPratte kind of got left up there by himself at the moment, as that inside line has just come to play here. As back through fourth has now cleared the outside line. Chris Blasi jumps up a little bit, dancing with going to the high line. Didn't do it at the moment, but Dale Procrop Valaquette did just that as he slid up, and he is now leading that outside line along with Chris Blasi. Now the outside line is starting to form up. Ooh, Alex Teft hard into that outside wall. Keeps it straight, but definitely did a little bit damage there as he pancaked that wall pretty hard here. Chris Blasi goes down to the inside, jumps out from behind, and is now going to try and lead this thing on the bottom. Truth Hope trying to close in that gap on Blasi. He'll do just that. Terry Fennell trying to close the gap as well as he's touching the apron. Getting a little loose there on the bottom side is that 50 Chevy. As they come down the backstretch, Alex Teft pulls out, gets almost to the grass. We have Kirby Wainscott back there as well. Martin's on the 9 machine. He is leading at the moment side by side with Blasi. Pratt thinking about going middle. Not enough momentum to do that. And you can just see how these trucks are just bouncing around like crazy as they come through 1 and 2. Do the same thing as they break their way through 3 and 4 as well. Nicholas Falsetta is the fastest man on the track, 48.73 for his time. So we'll come through tri-oval. See him just bouncing around inside, outside, trying to figure out where they want to be. Crop is leading on that outside lane, has Brian LaPratte pushing him. LaPratte has been one of the better pushers we've seen in this league, and that is something that is going to be needed, especially if you're trying to race some of the other tracks and cars they race here on Saturday nights. We have one more here on Saturday before they do make the switch to Friday nights. They have racing going on Fridays now, as Brian LaPratte splits the gap, goes to the bottom, goes to the middle, and then goes right around. And is going to lead that outside line. Chris Blasi still leading the bottom side. LaPratte trying to side draft just a little bit. Truth Hope sliding up as well. Side by side they go. Coming down the backstretch, they split off of each other a little bit. Pratt goes down to the bottom. Like Alex Teft has just lost it there, as Kirby Wainscott's also back there. That is one thing at Daytona, be it 2008 or newer, they have got to maintain that draft. If they lose that draft, they are going to go significantly slower, as the trucks in the draft are going almost 185, 190 miles an hour, versus right now Kirby Wainscott running 180 tops. Then bounce around as they come through 1 and 2, headed down the backstretch. LaPratte Blasi on the bottom side. Truth Hope also down there. Very Fennell. So that bottom side's starting to pull away. Andrew Teft makes the jump from the top to the bottom. Gets in front of Curtis Ecker. Looks like Dale Pro Crop Valaquette also did it as well. Andrew Teft is low on the bottom. Blasi is the fastest man on the track now, 48.44 for that 11. They've single filed out here 7 laps in. Well, as soon as I said it, I knew that was what was going to happen here. So that's where they went. Blasi and Truth Hope hooked up pretty well. Truth has been one of the drivers that can seem to push almost anything. He's outside of the playoffs, but he's still helping drivers get there. Who that was into the wall there. It was Nicholas Falsetta that got into the wall. The gap between Falsetta and Kirby Wainscott is now 9 seconds. Looks like Andrew Teft might have just decided to go back and help Curtis Ecker and Alex Teft. Let's maybe take a look, see what happened here. Jump down. Oh, looks like he just pulled down. Looks like they're just trying to go back to help their teammates there. Back up front, though, Chris Blasi, Truth Hope, Brian LaPratte, Troy Thomas. 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Gap between the first group and second group is stabilized a little bit. It's still 11.5 seconds. through. We'll head over to turns 1 and 2 here. Quite up there on the wall almost. Single flat out. Looks like Brian LaPratte was thinking about trying to go to that high side. Nobody really went with him at the beginning, but now, like Troy Thomas is staying down on the bottom. Terry Fennell's going to try and close up there as well. Quet also trying to get up in that high lane. Nicholas Falsetta's up there as well. 3 trucks on the bottom, 4 up top. See where this run is going to take him here, as it looks like Blase kind of slides up to take a little air off the nose of the 101 of Brian LaPratte. You just see them bounce around here with all the bumps that they come through 3 and 4. Gap is now under 11 seconds to that second group. And Pratt's still holding tough here on that high line. Probably going to wind up fading towards the back if he doesn't get help soon. And just as I say that, Valaquette and Falsetta pull up there as well. Blase still being the Pied Piper here on the lead. But they lost Alex Teft as he is sideways, heading through the tri-oval here. We're going to stay green for the moment here, as he is going the right direction. He is just not going there in a hurry, and that is what is going to set a disaster here for Wayne Scott, Ecker, and Andrew Teft. But Brian LaPratte is now leading the race. Go back and take a look here as if they settle down for a moment and see what happened to Alex Teft. Side by side they go through one. Still staying side by side, so take a look real quick, see what we can see here. Oh, a bad bump. Bad bump. Alex Teft made his way down pit lane. He's going to try and get that truck fixed up here as they're side by side for second place. The Truth got a little loose, got down on the apron, bouncing up the track. Blase slides up in front of Brian LaPratte, going to try and slow down that outside line, come back down, get in front of Truth, try and stay right on that yellow line, keep the momentum turning here. Corey Thomas, Terry Fennell also in that bottom line. Brian LaPratte up high has Dale Valaquette up there as well. Oh, Blase gets turned. Bruce Hoke also there. staying green. Oh, Brian LaPratt. Got no caution as everybody keeps rolling the right direction. That's a couple crashes that did not bring out that caution. Looks like the iRacing has the same guys calling the cautions as the Xfinity race this morning. Alex Teff trying to stay in front of the lead lap cars. Troy Thomas trying to lead the race. On board here with the 9 Chevy of Valaquet. Alex Teff trying to stay just 1 lap now. Did have to make that pit stop after getting ran into the wall a little bit after getting a bad bump. He's able to stay pretty well tagged on here. The problem for Alex is if they wind up catching that 19 of Curtis Ecker, then he is no longer a free pass car. Wazzy and Truth Hoke are back here with Andrew Teft and Kirby Wayne-Scott. Nicholas Falsetta just off of them, but a huge gap back to the 19. And Troy Thomas and Valaquet were able to get by that 43 machine. So a couple laps down there for Alex. He did have to come down on lap 14 to hit that pit box. Corey Thomas in that number 3 Chevy here on the front. I think Alex Teff is going to let Terry Fennell go by, slide in line, stay with these guys. Oh, I think Alex might have got a little loose there, went up the track. Side by side with Fennell. Pratt back here as well. It's been an 11-second gap from these guys up to the top 3. Probably going to need a caution to come out to stack this field back up. There's a gap, 10.37 seconds, and growing a little bit. These guys can get hooked up here. They might be able to close in a little bit. Troy Thomas is leading this. They did pass Curtis Ecker. Ecker is only 1 lap down. Alex Teff 2 laps down. Alex did come in on lap 14 to hit the pit box. So they're going to have to make 3 pit stops if this is as much as they can get. Blase in, Hoke in, Falsetta also in. Driver that doesn't have to worry about coming down pit lane is Alex Teft. Everybody should be coming down pretty quickly here. After they get back out on the track, we'll reset the field and go from there. Blase and Truth Hoke are back out on the track. Alex Teff trying to at least get on the same lap here. He's going to have to hurry. He has no help around him, though. So he wants to try and get back to the tail end when everybody's coming back on or back out of pit lane to catch a draft and be with the drivers out there. He is working right now lap 24, and the drivers that just came out of pits are working 25, and then there's a couple drivers that are 26. He is on the same lap now that Falsetta, Ecker, LaPratt, and Hoke are. He's going around Wayne Scott. But Blase and Truth Hoke are going to go right by Alex Teft here. So Teft, Falsetta, and Ecker are all 1 lap down. Troy Thomas is the leader. He's got a 6.5 second lead over second place, but that is going to go away, especially if anybody else has teamed up and got their drafting buddy ready to roll. Pratt coming out. He'll go a lap down. We'll see if he jumps up behind Troy Thomas. Not enough momentum to stay there, though. Troy almost needs to back up just a little bit because right now we have Blase and Truth Hoke. We're leading the race. Got involved in an incident. No caution came out. Had to go basically from the back of the field. And now here they come trying to make their way back to the front. Right now they're running second and third. Troy Thomas up 9 spots in that 3 Chevy. Looks like Ecker almost went off track there trying to avoid. It looks like he's starting to slow down just a little bit, trying to catch Brian LaPratt, or let Brian LaPratt catch him so they can do a tandem run here, because right behind them, you see him coming. Everybody and their brother has hooked up here. Yeah, Blase, Hoke, Lalaquette, Fennell, all making their way towards the front here. But with that, we're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere, as we'll go side by side, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. As we just saw, looks like that was Nicholas Falsetta get thrown down the track. But up front we have Chris Blase and Truth Hope back to the front, back to where they were running earlier before everything kind of broke off with a little bit of a bad block there. Troy Thomas back in third. Dale Procrop Valaquette back there in fourth. Andrew Teff fifth. Terry Fennell sixth. Herbie Wainscott seventh. Brian LaPratt is in eighth. Alex Teff ninth. Nicholas Falsetta 10th. And Curtis Ecker 11th here. 7 cars on the lead lap. what happened to Terry Fennell there. Maybe he got anything. He is in his pit box. Not sure what happened to the 50 Chevy there. Terry Fennell down on the bottom, exiting pit lane here. The Blase, Truth Hoke, Troy Thomas, Andrew Teft. Yeah, the Pratts had a bit of a rough day, got involved in an incident, didn't bring out a caution. But thanks, Bobby, for coming in the chat. Love to see you guys out there. Currently running P7. Yeah, P7 right now. Really needs a caution to come out so he can get that lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. As they run now, the race were to end at this moment. Chris Blasi would take over the championship lead here. The Pratt would lose a few spots, as would Alex Teft. Go on board here with the Wrangler 55 Chevy. Elderly driver, Truth Hoke here. Looks like the 50's back in the pits once again. Sure what's going on with the Hooters ride there. Working through lap 39 of 100. Looks like Truth about lost it just a little bit there. We got Troy Thomas behind him. Those three drivers are all running out of the Outsiders team channel, so they're working together. You almost have everybody else in the other one. Andrew Teft trying to hang on here. On board with the Pratt. You just see how bad the bumps are for making your way around the track and how much you can't see in these trucks. And even jump up to True Coke, you can't really see much either. But they're all basically running the same throttle all the way to the floor. Troy Thomas back here. Guys from North Carolina dealing with the wrath that was the hurricane. Coming down the backstretch, single file out. The way they've been for most of the race here. They are catching these drivers back here. But Curtis Ecker. That's Kirby Wayne Scott. Kirby Wayne Scott is still on the lead lap. Go to the high side probably and leave the Ecker and Wayne Scott down on the bottom. They're running about 7 miles an hour faster in that outside line here. It looks like Andrew Chet's going to stay down there with them, try and help them stay at least on the tail end here of this lead lap. Leave Kirby Wayne Scott in the lucky dog position if they can keep rolling here. Looks like Terry Fennell called it a night in that 50 Chevy. Getting closer to that halfway point. Saw all the drivers come down on lap 24 to 25. So we'll see if that's where they elect to make that jump once again. It's that 50 lap mark. Might see a couple guys come in a little bit sooner. Like I said, you definitely want to come down and pit together. Troy Thomas was leading the race. Didn't have really anybody around him. His only saving grace was that he was able to slow down and get Brian LaPratt to stay with him here. And that has kept him up here with the leaders for the moment. Nicholas Falsetta down on the bottom. Stay out of the way, let these guys go by. He's going to want to try and stay out of the way, and then as soon as the last truck goes by, he's going to want to pull right and try and get right in that draft. If he doesn't do it at the right time, he's going to lose the draft and be driving out here by himself and have to wait till they go around again. We got LaPratt First car a lap down. Blase, Truth Oak, Troy Thomas, Andrew Teft, Dale Procrop, Valaquette are the only trucks on the lead lap, so that's a healthy group of 5 of the 11 maintaining their position on the lead lap. I'm going to hear some radio chatter start to come on as they get ready to make their way down pit lane for the second stop of the day. Nobody's really making any moves at the moment. Everybody's staying pretty much single filed out. Nicholas Falsetta is up on the high side, so he was able to catch that draft. He's been able to drive fairly well here outside all by himself, about halfway through a group of trucks at the moment. A couple other drivers come down. Looks like the 3 is going to be one of the drivers as well. Oh, looks like... Oh. Like Truth Hope was... Oh, what? Well, Truth Hope brought out the caution. No, the 55 here. Right into Kirby, Wayne Scott, and Curtis Ecker. Andrew Teft gets ran in the back, spun around with Wayne Scott going around. Too hard on the brakes. He was turning left the whole time. Nothing he could do about that one. Break off in front of him. Only driver that looks like it really wasn't affected here. Brian McCrack. So they'll get stacked up here once again. Halfway through the race. Got Truth Hoke, Brian LaPratt, Chris Blase, Roy Thomas, Dale Procrop, Valaquette, Andrew Teft, and Curtis Ecker. Like Curtis Ecker right now is 1 lap down. Alex Teft also a lap down. Kirby Wayne's got a lap down as well. So unfortunate there. Looks like Truth just got too hard on the brakes. Was turning to the left, slid up to the right, right in front and right into the 19 machine of Curtis Ecker. That's the first caution of the race. We've had a couple other incidents that were on the verge of bringing out the caution, but everybody was rolling the same direction of the track. So we'll get them stacked up again. Lights are out on the pace truck. True Toke, Brian LaPratt going to lead them down to the green flag here. And we are green here in the Super Speedway Series once again as they get rolling. Truth Hope on the bottom, Brian LaPratt on the high side. Prop Valaquet giving Truth a little push towards the front. Curtis Ecker is the first car a lap down in front of Chris Blase. Alex Teft back to 1 lap down after being down a couple early. Valaquet goes to the high side, jumps up in front of Brian LaPratt. Curtis Ecker, everybody goes around. LaPratt winds up on his lid, goes for a victory roll. We are under caution for the second time of the evening. Oh, a little bit of a bad push. Forward with LaPratt. See what's happening here. Gives a bump to Ecker. It's a little bit too far in the middle, and Ecker just goes off his front bumper there. Teff's car. So half the field on pit lane now. Halfway through the race. We'll see who is left after the carnage there on lap 53. Pratt's in the pits, Ecker's in the pits, Andrew Teft is in the pits. Kirby Wainscott coming down. Lights go out on the pace truck. Down the backstretch now. We got like 5 on the lead lap. Andrew Teft's going to be rushing to get back there. They're on the backstretch. Looks like Terry Fennell and Curtis Ecker have now called it a night. Brian LaPratt jumped to the pits, got his ride fixed, spent 3.5 minutes there, and he is back on track. Kirby Wainscott also on track. Nicholas Falsetta, Chris Blasi out there as well. We got Truth Hoke and Troy Thomas on the bottom side. Dale Prokop, Balaquette up on the high side. Like Blasi's going to start up there as well. Pace truck is in. We are back to green flag racing here from Daytona. So it's going to get a push here from Troy Thomas. Nicholas Falsetta also down on that bottom side. Hits the apron just a little bit. Bounces up the track. But stays going in the right direction. Prokop Balaquette is getting a push from Chris Blasi. Blasi, one of the better pushers here, as Balaquette jumps down to the bottom side. So that is going to leave Andrew Teft up there to get behind Blasi. That is how they are as they roll through the field here to the tri-oval. Brian LaPratte racing with Chris Blase for that lucky dog spot. One on the bottom, one on the top. Andrew Teff leading the race, so he'll get a point for that. Ruth Hoke on the bottom, still pushing Chris there. Couple lap cars going to play a part here in this race. Ooh, falsetto off the wall. Bounces off, get right back into the line, but that's gonna, oh, Nick Falsetta again loose off the wall. And they're trying to get by him as fast as they can. Falsetta a little loose coming through 1 and 2. Bounced off the wall a couple times. Procop, Valaquette, and Troy Thomas just tried to get by, as did Kirby Wayne Scott. Leading lap 60 this time by. Augie went up to the high side, tried to slow down that outside line. He is in front, so he is technically on the lead lap, so Brian LaPratte would get that lucky dog should something happen, as long as he's not involved in it. Blasi goes back up to the high side to block a little bit there. These guys are not racing for position on the track. They are racing for a championship, though, as LaPratte is shoving Andrew Teft to the front. LaPratte in the lucky dog spot still. LaPratte goes up high. Lose the lucky dog spot to Blase here. Procop, Valaquette 3 wide, going to leave LaPratte stuck in the middle. Kirby Wayne Scott back there, as well as Alex Teft. Blase, LaPratte, and Wayne Scott all battling for that lucky dog spot right now. LaPratte has it as Blase is leading this group. He is in front of the race leader at the moment. They're bouncing around all over the track, inside, outside, trying to find a way through. Like Andrew Tett got a little loose there, as did Bruce Hoke, as he slid up the track, got in front of Troy Thomas, though, and they'll lead that outside line with Chris Blase leading the bottom. Oh, they are wrecking. Andrew Teft, Troy Thomas, Truth Hoke, a Pratt all involved. Oh, Blase gets the Pratt. Back and take a look here. Jump on Chris's nose cam here. He goes down to the bottom here. You see the Pratt in front of him. That just hits that left rear quarter. Gonna send him around. Go back and look at it again here. Go on board with Good Truth. See what Truth sees here. He's gonna get hit here. Right there. Send him down into the 98. Watch the 98 almost get off the ground. Back wheels come a couple feet off the ground as they are spinning around. Alex Teft gets into Truth. Troy Thomas makes his way down towards pit road there. He's going to go bouncing off the wall. Right here, he's going to get a little run, bouncing around. Hit him as he's coming off the corner, going to spin everybody around. The only one that looked like he might have got through it. What's the 9 here? That's not a bad drive there, but just Kirby Wayne's got some love here. Watch this 10 machine. So they will stack them up once again. If anybody gets that lucky dog, I didn't think that Wayne Scott touched anybody, but lights are out on the pace track, so. And we'll all sort it out here as we get stacked up, ready to roll one more time. Pace truck is in. Valaquette with the button as he gets ready to take the field to green, and we're back under green flag conditions here. Procop Valaquette on the bottom side has Truth Hoke behind him. Troy Thomas up to his high side, slide up in front of Troy. Truth on the bottom, and he'll go back down. Brian LaPrette is the first car a lap down at the moment. Troy Thomas up there. Truth Hoke. Truth's getting a little bouncy coming through the corner. Chris Blasi trying to get back on the lead lap. He's been fast all night. He's been running up here even when he's a lap down. Still hanging tough. Roy Thomas staying in front of him. Nicholas Falsetta is up on the high line. He's a lap down as well. Pratt trying to hang on and get a line. Kirby Wainscott didn't come down and pit, so he's going to have to come down here within the next 20 laps or so. So he'll be fine because everybody else is going to have to come down as well. I mean, they pitted on lap 64, so everybody's going to have to make at least one more stop. Farthest we've seen him go is 26 laps. Roy Thomas, Dale Procop, Valaquette are the first two, separated by Chris Blasi. Truth Hoke back in third. Brian LaPrette running in the middle of the field at the moment, trying to get back to the lucky dog position. Right now that position is held by Blasi as he is behind Troy Thomas. Valaquette slides down in front of Truth. Kind of single filed out. The only drivers on the high side are a couple lap cars of LaPrette and Falsetta. Curtis Ecker and Terry Fennell have called it a night once again. They put that truck on the hauler, said maybe next week. Pratt making ground here. Get anybody to come up to the high side and help him. He might be able to push past and get back on the lead lap himself, get his lap back the hard way, as they say. Falsetta's trying to give him a push, just can't quite hang down on the bottom or in the middle as they roll through the corner. He slides up the track quite a bit. Big slide there from Blasi as he was a little bit out of control there. Valaquette down on the apron as well. Blasi and LaPrette battling for that lucky dog spot. Valaquette pulls up to the high side, going to get three in line on that top side, see if they can push past. But Falsetta, again, loses it in the corner, slides up the track, and that's going to separate the trucks. and allow that bottom line to start making some more runs here. Blasi and LaPrat still battling for that lucky dog spot. And Truth Hope just got turned through the tri-oval. Falsetta got a little bit loose, made that left-hand turn, and that is what's going to bring out caution number 4 here tonight. And maybe a little bit of net code, but Valaquette finds himself in the mix as well. Yeah, maybe Truth came up a little bit too. Get a good look here. They'll get stacked back up again. Now it's going to be close to see if they're going to be able to make it on fuel. If everybody decides to come down, it'll be right on the making it here. Looks like everybody's going to come down pit lane. So Blasi comes in, so we're going to get stacked back up. Like Truth Hoke is still on pit lane. Falsetta's still on pit lane. Like Blasi took the wave around and now is on pit lane. Getting close to the end of the race. 24 to go here. Thomas are going to be on the front row here. Quit back behind them. Brian LaPratt still trying to battle his way back to the lead lap. He's been hanging out on the front, just hoping to find one of these cautions at the right time. Didn't get it. Blase was able to get the caution that he needed to get back on the lead lap, so he will be a contender when they get back to green flag racing here. Yeah, old Daytona is terribly bumpy. Let's see if I can. You'll see it here. They're only going 74, and you can just see the bumps out there. So, fourth caution of the night was green flag racing for 50 laps before these last few cautions came out. So, left hard on the throttle pedal as they get rolling here. Balaquet couldn't quite stay with him. That's going to allow Troy Thomas to stay up high. Alex Teft up there as well. Huge gap back to the third in line, which is Alex Teft and Blase. Troy Thomas just drives it from the high side down to the bottom. Alex Teft left up there all by himself, but this is where the racing has been a little dangerous here on these restarts. These guys start going inside, outside, trying to get a run. Just can't quite maintain their lines, especially when you get to the bottom in 3 and 4. It seems like that's where they kind of bounce out of line. I just see Blase go up the track. Now he is behind Brian LaPratt. Roy Thomas, Balaquet, and Andrew Teft. I don't know that there's really been a single car that has not been involved in one of the incidents that has happened on track. Right now, Truth Hoke is still sitting on pit lane. Mike Falsetta has decided to throw his truck on the hauler. Racing here. See how close Balaquet can get to the rear bumper of that Road Ranger number 98. These guys are doing all they can. This is one serious arm workout here in these trucks as they bounce around through 3 and 4. Got 6 drivers on the lead lap. Brian LaPratt is praying for another one of those cautions that as long as he's not involved in it. He made his way to the lucky dog spot and then wound up being caught in the action there. So didn't get the lucky dog, stayed a lap down, but he's been staying right there. He's been racing with these guys up front all night. Andrew Teft looking to extend his points lead, his championship lead, as they head into the final race next week. Next week, of course, surprise, surprise, is going to be the next gens at Talladega. We'll get a full field out there and go what these super speedway drivers can do here. Balaquette, Troy Thomas, and Chris Blasi. The top four. You have Brian LaPratt back there with Alex Teft and Kirby Wayne Scott. So everybody on track is separated by little to no time. But now that they've single filed out and are looking good, we're going to go ahead and step aside for a moment. You won't miss anything. Final commercial break as we get 19 to go this time by. We'll be back after this. Well, while we were away, we saw Brian LaPratt pushing Troy Thomas up to the lead. Troy Thomas jumped down in front of Alex Teft and Kirby Wayne Scott. 15 to go here. Soon to be 14 as they make their way to the tri-oval. You can even see the bumps through the tri-oval. We saw a couple bumps gone bad as they were coming over the bumps on the track, and just got a little bit out of shape when they're trying to get a little bump draft. Because almost what's caused almost every one of our cautions is a little bit out of shape when they get that little push. Alex Teft up to second, started the race with a terrible incident, wound up losing the draft, didn't cause a caution, just wound up going a lap down, then got involved in an accident, caused him to go a couple laps down, but he is back out on track. He is running P2 now and is on pace to have the drive of the race. So Pratt back on the lead lap by a couple inches here as he is out in front of Troy Thomas. Troy is going to probably want to hang on to the rear bumper there of that 101 Chevy. As behind him, you have Alex Teft, Kirby Wainscott, and Andrew Teft. And you know that they are going to be working together, so we'll see how they're going to set up this run. You don't want to make your run too soon and maybe show your hand a little bit, but they are hanging tight here as they come through the tri-oval once again. Still single filed out. Nobody's really making any move, and the problem that Chris Blasi back here is going to have is nobody's going to probably try and go to that high side with him. We'll have to see if he can time it maybe with a move from Troy Thomas up front. But that 3 Chevy definitely knows its way around the Superspeedway tracks here. Looks like Truth Hoke is still in pit lane, trying to probably replace that engine is what it looks like. Almost 16 minutes in the pit box for the elderly driver of the 55 Wrangler machine. Troy Thomas and Brian LaPratt are driving away from the field. Got 0.3 of a second, almost 4 right now. And if they can keep that up, Troy Thomas is just going to allow LaPratt just to stay in front of him here. 10 to go. And that is what Chris Blasi was waiting for. He was waiting for Procop Valaquette to move out of line, and he did that. Chris Blasi stuck right with him, and they are going to make that outside line work. So side by side behind Troy Thomas, Chris Blasi dives down and abandons the 9 here as he goes between Alex Teft and Kirby Wainscott. Alex Teft jumps up to the high side, and he's going to try and take a push there from Procop Valaquette to get to the front once again, and he is in the lead, but Brian LaPratt still leading that bottom line. Troy Thomas back there with him, and also Chris Blasi. But now Alex Teft is leading him here. The 9 machine all over that rear bumper. And to see how close he gets to that Home Depot 43 Toyota.
Pratt trying to hang down on the bottom. Blase moved up to the high side, going to try and get a run here. We've seen him make a dangerous move down to the bottom. Almost did it again. Just not enough room for him to slide down there. Kirby Wainscott's down there as well. Andrew Teft sitting chilly in 7th. They're getting a little loose. Kirby Wainscott almost into Chris there as they were coming through 3 and 4. 7 to go when they get to the stripe. Blase jumps down in front of Kirby Wainscott. Kirby Wainscott gives him a shove. You see the dents in that bumper there. Guys at Junior Motorsports are going to have to do some fixing on that number 11 there. See him just bouncing around here all over the track. Kirby Wainscott going to be about where he finished. Two of the biggest movers are leading the race. Alex Teft up 7, and Troy Thomas was up into 2nd, but lost a little bit of ground there. If Pro Prop Foot goes down to the inside, or if he's going to stay up high. Like he stays up high for the moment. I think Blase will slide down if he can get clear. Not clear enough, and they are snaking all over the track. Blase's just blocking Andrew Teft like crazy. Maybe not so much on purpose, but he is definitely not liking that high line. Alex Teft inside outside trying to play Pied Piper. Chris Blase goes to the middle, and he is going to try and force his way to the lead. 3 wide still. Trying to get down, not enough room. Valaquette goes down to the bottom, going to shorten it up, not make it 3 wide anymore. Now he jumps out to the high side. Blase goes down to the bottom, off the nose of Andrew Teft. Alex Teft involved, Blase involved, and we are under caution once again. So on the handshake lap, let's see what happened here. You can see everybody. Oh, Blase moved down a little bit too late. Andrew tried to stay off of him. It looked like Chris just tried to come down, and there just was not room there for Chris to go down. And Alex just got caught in it as well. Two more wheels off the ground there for Andrew. So that is going to shake up the finish here. Brian LaPratt not involved in this caution, so he should be back on the lead lap. It'll be a green-white checker finish here for the Racers Elite Superspeedway Series. Kim down pit road. He's going to probably get some tires here. I just needed a little bit of fuel. They did pit on lap 74, and they get about 25, 26 laps on a fuel run. It looks like Alex Teft called it a night as well. Truth Oak still trying to get his engine repaired. 24 minutes on pit lane now. Blase on pit lane. So we've got 5 trucks. Go past the scheduled distance of the race. But you're still on the pace truck, so could go off this time by. Say if LaPratte wins, he's been involved in every caution, I think, except for this last one. So Troy Thomas is going to lead him on down to the green flag. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Someone's trying to burn off fuel the way it was just revving that engine. Racetrack's going to make that left-hand turn down pit lane, and we'll be set for a green-white checker finish here as they get ready to roll through that restart zone. Troy Thomas down and away, has Kirby Wainscott behind him. Dale Procrop Valaquette has Ryan LaPratte back there. 5 trucks on the track, all of them battling for the win. Troy Thomas has a little help from Wainscott. Andrew Teft trying to get there as well. Valaquette tries to side draft a little bit as Brian LaPratte's a little too far back to give him some help. 2 to go. Troy Thomas gets a little loose there. Wainscott trying to get behind him, give him a shove. Andrew Teft goes up to the high side, seeing if he can help LaPratte or Valaquette make his way to the front through the tri-oval. We take the white flag. The next flag will be the checker one here. Valaquette leads that lap. LaPratte trying to battle back, see if he's going to try and slide down in front of Troy Thomas. Troy Thomas trying to hang on, here as he is losing ground to LaPratte. LaPratte slides down in front. Troy Thomas, Brian LaPratte, Andrew Teft up on the high side. Down the backstretch, they go for the final time. Brian LaPratte is leading this race, and he gets turned, and he will not win. Valaquette, Andrew Teft, Kirby Wainscott all sitting there battling. Andrew Teft up to the wall, trying to ride around here. Valaquette is the leader for the moment. Coming down the tri-oval, and Valaquette gets turned. Wainscott gets turned. And looks like Troy Thomas is going to win the race. Nobody crossed the finish line correctly. What in the world? Quet slides up to block Teft. Teft tries to get out because it looks like he takes incident points. Let's see if we can get a different view here. Can't even see. You can't even see anything. It's scoring Troy Thomas as first. Looks like Andrew Teft got disqualified, maybe, but looks like Troy Thomas is going to pick up the win. Kirby Wainscott also sideways across the track. Just did 360s all the way there. See if this will. Know if that'll. Not quite. Valaquette gets third. Well, let's see what happened to Brian LaPratte. He gets the lead. Oh. Troy just gives him a little bump there. Push gone wrong as he slid up the track. Didn't happen most of the race. But race winner gonna be Troy Thomas. Oh, he's having fun there. Let's see if we can third place. Hey, Dale, Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Heck of a race there. I mean, with only a few guys, but all of you had a chance to win it. How was it racing on this old Daytona surface?
It's pretty crazy. The bumps are really gnarly. It's all, yeah, it was, I mean, at the end there, I think everything was fair too. Like, I kind of got bumped into Andrew and then kind of turned to the right. And then there was a chance where we got split where we could have saved it, but it was a fun race.
Yeah, definitely looked like it was a blast out there. But you have one more race. How are you feeling with the next gens heading to Talladega?
Well, I'm kind of doing just one-offs here and there with the Superspeedway series, but I might take part. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, I just try to stay out of championship contenders' ways. Obviously, I got in the way there, but going for the win.
Yeah. No, it was good racing out there. Who do you want to thank for P3 before I get you out of here?
I don't know.
All right, man. Well, congrats on your P3, and maybe we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
We can get second place up here. Kirby, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
What's going on?
Well, not a lot. You okay after all those 360s you did on that final lap?
Yeah, I thought I had it. I saw the 9 go up, and he made contact with Andrew, and I saw a clear track in front of me, and I'm like, holy crap, I think I got this. And then all of a sudden, I started spinning.
Yeah, it looked like Andrew hit you just when he was getting that final incident point there and spun you around. And I thought you had won because I didn't see anybody else on the racetrack. And then got a notification that Troy Thomas actually was, 4 miles away on the infield there, coming down pit lane almost.
Yeah, I watched the replay. I'm like, man, if Andrew had got that incident point split second earlier, maybe it wouldn't have net coded me or anything. But yeah, I started spinning. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold on to the gas pedal and see what happens. And finally, after 10 spins, I think I finally crossed the finish line. So
that was crazy out there. You guys put on the show. Old Daytona definitely lived up to its history there, bumping around.
oh yeah, you definitely can't do a lot of side drafting because there's so many bumps. Like you can hit a bump and all of a sudden you're into the truck right next to you. So it's kind of tricky, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely, man. Well, you're still hanging around the championship battle. How do you feel heading into Talladega next week?
I mean, I'm pretty I'm always pretty confident when it comes to super speedway racing, but it's a crapshoot though. I mean, just like I was a lap down most of this race because stuff happens, and heck, well, I think at some point 5 or 6 of us were a lap down. So it is all about getting there at the end. As long as you have a chance with 5 laps to go, that's all you can ask for.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
I just want to thank you and you guys there at SRM, and you guys do a great job. And I always like going back and rewatching the races and everything. And I got to thank Andrew for everything he does. I mean, it's amazing all the stuff he does. We're getting to the point now where we're almost 5, 6, 7 days a week at some points. So it's a lot of fun, and I just want to thank him. And also want to, if anybody's out there watching, maybe involved or impacted by the hurricanes, hopefully everything's all right with them. And I wish all them a speedy recovery and everything. So thank you.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and we'll talk to you next week.
Alrighty.
Let's get the race winner up here. Roy, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Well, last week you made your return here to racing after the hurricane kind of had other plans for you.
Yes, sir.
But now you make a turn to victory lane. How's it racing out there tonight, man?
It got crazy towards the end, obviously, but me, Truth, and Chris, we worked pretty good together, so survived that race is what I would call it.
Yeah, I didn't even realize you won because I didn't see anybody else on the track but Kirby. Everybody else is spinning every other direction, so.
It was a crazy finish. I ain't never won one like that before, but hey, a win's a win.
Definitely. So you get a win here. You get back on track. How do you feel after heading from this old Daytona to the next gens at Talladega next week?
Gosh, it's gonna be like driving on the interstate. Old Daytona's just so rough in anything you drive. I mean, it's just a bumpy ride, so your arm gets a workout. But Talladega's a different monster on itself. So
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your win. Anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
oh, obviously SRM being part of the SRM family for the broadcast y'all put on for every show that we all do. So thank you, thank Andrew for putting this league on everything he does. I know he's a busy man with everything, and obviously Truth and Chris tonight, teammates. So good way to end the week, I guess. Second last night and the first tonight.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and we'll see if we can talk to you next week as well.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
How you too? Let's go ahead and go through the race results here tonight. Short field, but everybody had a chance for quite a while here. Troy Thomas, Kirby Wayne Scott, and Dale Procop Valaquette are the top three. Brian LaPratt battled back, got P4. Andrew Teft, P5. Chris Blasi, Alex Teft, Truth Hoke, Nicholas Falsetta, Curtis Ecker are the top 10. Terry Fennell bringing up P11. Well, that will do it for the penultimate race here in Season 1 of the Super Speedway Series. Tune in next week as we will crown a champion of Season 1. Andrew Teft right now does have a 7-point lead, so anybody can still win. The top 5 are still there. So we'll see what happens once we get to Talladega. But with that being said, from all of us here at Sim Racing Media and all the drivers of the Racers Elite Super Speedway, I want to wish you guys a good night, and we'll see you next week.